Coming up on the I'm a Car Chick podcast with guest Amy Hitch.
This is Amy Hitch. Amy Hitch is with Ascent Dealer Services, which hopefully at this point everybody knows because they're everywhere. They love F&I.
So I think the biggest thing is just knowing I'm not the only one that's sacrificed a lot. Letting people know they're not alone.
Yeah.
They're not alone. Not that I'm just like a perfect example of it, but hey, they deserve some recognition, and not just an attaboy, like great job, but to know like, hey, like you're holding up a lot, and it does not go unnoticed, and it's not just their paycheck, but it's a lot more than that.
Exactly.
Revving up the auto industry, one conversation at a time. Featuring industry leaders, auto experts, and trailblazers. We are bringing you unfiltered interviews highlighting the voices all around the industry. Let's cut through the noise. Join us. Let's light it up together. Hosted by Shasta Haddock. This is I'm a Car Chick podcast.
We are back with another episode of the I'm a Car Chick podcast, coming to you live from NADA 2026 in Las Vegas. And I met someone very interesting this year, and as soon as I met her, I was like, if you're at NADA, you have to be on the show. So if you haven't met her, this is Amy Hitch. Amy Hitch is with Ascent Dealer Services, which hopefully at this point everybody knows because they're everywhere. They love F&I. Adam Marburger is probably one of the greatest humans on this planet that I've ever met, and I know that you guys are very good friends and work very closely together. But thank you so much for coming on the show and being a part of this. I love this so much.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be here, Shasta.
Thank you.
Adam is a wonderful mentor, not just as an employee, I say that, but really he brings a lot of people together in the same capacity that you are. And it's just such amazing experience to witness the progression that happens in the automotive industry, and it's something that I'm super passionate about and very excited.
I know that you are on the show for the first time. Give the listeners a little bit of a history about you and how you found your way into working with Ascent. I know that you have a lot of experience in the dealership and really are just an F&I expert. So tell us a little bit about your history.
Yeah, so I started straight in the finance office at a single point Ford store in rural Missouri. So I had no idea what I was getting into. I literally had just gotten my MBA and had worked in banking, so financial services background. But I had applied for a few jobs within Bank of America and just kept getting told no. I didn't have enough experience. So I got a phone call from a local dealer and said, we're going to give you a shot in F&I.
That's awesome.
And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then I Googled, what is F&I? I literally had no idea what I'd walked into. But I spent a decade at that store and was able to build their finance department from the ground up. So I had a very unique experience because I got to see all the angles of what goes into building a finance department. And Adam is somebody I connected with in 2019 at an Ethical F&I Managers Conference out in Denver. So after that meeting, we kind of just stayed in touch. In 2018, he was Automotive News 40 Under 40. So super impressive human being.
Yes.
And just stayed connected with him over the years. And last year, I gave him a call. I had a store that was looking for some help, and I called. He was the first person I called, and I'm like, hey, where do I go from here? And the rest is history.
Yeah. And I like how you tried to breeze over the fact that you too were an Automotive News 40 Under 40.
I was.
That's awesome.
2022.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that. That's such an awesome accomplishment. I love seeing people recognized, especially at a young age, for doing the hard work and doing the dang things. So I appreciate that a lot. I want to jump into it because we have a lot of exciting things to talk about. You've obviously gone from high-performing F&I to executive coaching. What's the biggest mindset shift that leaders struggle with when they move from doing the work to developing people?
Yeah, the struggle, the biggest challenge is the translation. So we speak different languages. Insurance companies, the products that we're providing in the finance office, we're speaking a different language than what the finance managers are speaking. So I feel like the biggest transition is being able to translate and consult to the culture more than just, of course, the big thing that I train is believing in your products, believing in what you're selling, believing in the people that you're doing business with. And that's huge. And that's what Ascent Dealer Services stands on. Ascent Dealer Services loves F&I. it's truly a passion, and we truly believe in the partnerships that we have. We truly believe in the products that we're asking our finance managers to sell.
Yeah.
But at that level, it is a big transition, because now I'm communicating with both
Right.
the language that I already know how to speak in the finance office, and how that translates to an exceptional customer experience.
Yeah.
So I think that's the roadmap that I've been trying to work out this year, and just learning that at the end of the day, customer experience is the differentiator, and that's what we have to focus on, and that's what we bring to the table.
That's a stressful office to go into. I mean, as a consumer, as somebody who's bought several cars, like that is the most high stress place that you've got to go in the dealership, because it's like, okay, am I about to have to pay, $300 more a month than I just agreed to? What are all these things they're about to try and sell me? I don't understand any of this. And so education goes a lot into it. And I think a lot of times, non-coached F&I managers, they go so fast, hoping that you'll just sign up for whatever that they've got, that they don't take the time to slow down and explain everything and how actually important these things are. We were talking the other day about gap insurance. I won't buy a car without gap insurance. And it's something that a lot of people have no idea what the heck gap insurance is and how important it is when you're financing a car. And so I think education builds into that customer experience so much, and just again, taking that time to slow down with each customer and make sure that they understand everything that they're about to do, and why some things are worth paying a little bit extra.
Yes, absolutely. And you hit on a really great point. Like it is a difficult job, and a lot of times what we see in dealerships is a progression of, let's move a salesperson into the finance office, let's train them the way that the last person was doing it, and that it's transactional. They're just thinking like, how do I do this menu presentation? I hope they take everything. If they don't, I am terrible at my job.
Yeah.
And it's a roller coaster of emotions in the finance office. So
This special NADA 2026 episode is sponsored by Authenticom. Authenticom. Connect once, we handle the rest.
the ones that succeed and the ones that really do become professionals are the ones that take the time to not only just hone in their craft and know their products and believe in them very well to be able to translate that to the customer, but the ones that do slow down, the ones that have conversations with the customer, the ones that are educating beforehand, that it's not just, I'm going to sell you these products and you have to choose one, with that pressure, just like selling a car, the pressure of, I'm going to lose the car deal, and, selling your desk harder than you're selling the customer.
Exactly.
Finance managers have to take complete ownership of that process. And the earlier that they introduce themselves to the customer, the better the flow, the more that they train and help their sales staff,
Exactly.
the better customer experience at the end. So just making it cohesive, and really taking the time to slow down and be a true professional in the finance office. And then also, along with that, I'll add bringing up everybody else around you, being a leader of the dealership, and knowing that as a finance manager, you may not manage other people. You may not manage the sales staff, but your relationship with every department in the dealership
Matters.
is so important.
Yeah.
The office staff, the service department, staying connected to your service department, because that's where your repeat and referral customers come in, offering them to come back and use the service department, making it part of your process for the salespeople to introduce to the service department, schedule their first oil change, whatever we can do to keep customers engaged, and bring them back to the dealership.
Yeah. Well, and that actually leads perfectly into my next question. So from your experience, what's the most common reason that strong performers stall or burn out in automotive careers?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the burnout in the finance office particularly leads to lack of appreciation. Finance managers don't feel like they're appreciated. Ownership may not fully understand what the finance office does.
Yeah.
So just like a disconnect. I've, worked with a lot of dealerships that time is their main concern.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should be the main concern. The main concern should always be customer experience at the end. But as long as we're communicating, it all goes back to process, Shasta.
For sure.
And we have to train, when I was in the finance office, I used to say I do everything the same way every single time, with the knowledge that you have to be able to pivot quickly, with the knowledge that you can have a real conversation and not feel challenged always by a customer's question. Mm-hmm. It's not an objection. And sometimes when they say no, it's not really no. It's like, I don't fully understand.
Mm-hmm.
It was not set up to show the customer what their customer experience, their ownership experience is going to be. We're just worried about selling the car that day.
Yeah.
And
Well, a lot of that falls on the sales department too. They have so much time that they're sitting there waiting for the customer to go into the box that they have time to explain, hey, these are the things that they're about to discuss with you. I want you to be educated before you get in there so that nothing catches you off guard. These are some things that I would recommend, blah, blah, blah. Like, they have that opportunity to do some education, or even when they're doing a test drive of the car. I mean, there's so many opportunities prior to the customer walking in that box to know what they're walking into.
Yeah. And that goes back to staying very connected with your sales staff, training them to the point of telling them exactly what you want them to say to the customer.
Right.
I mean, in my store, it was to the point where the salespeople were explaining to the customer what the process was, like almost like it made it easier to just be transparent. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I would go out and introduce myself to them very early before they purchased the vehicle. My name's Amy. I'm the finance manager. Should you happen to purchase a vehicle from us, I'm going to be the one taking care of all your paperwork. Here's my office. If you have any questions, feel free to pop in. I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
And just be a servant leader.
Yeah. And what's crazy is how much that can change a customer's experience. Like, that has the ability to just change that trajectory so fast, and that fear mindset that they're in, or the stressful mindset and anxiety that they're feeling, all the emotions that come along with spending $30, $40, $50, $60,
Yes.
$70,000. And something like that can just ease that so much to know I'm not walking into a predator.
Yeah.
Like,
And for the most part, consumers are more educated than they ever have. They have access to the same tools that we have access to. But letting finance managers know to use these tools, take advantage of the tools that are out there. And one of my main goals is to help find those tools.
Right.
What are the right tools that these finance managers really need in their office to make, at the end of the day, it's the customer's going to have a better experience. They're going to be educated. They're not going to walk in being so confused, like, I think I can afford a $50,000 truck, but with no like understanding of what that actually comes out to in a monthly payment. Yeah. So yeah, it's just education, but also just like keeping your door open, keeping your door open for questions, because customers do have questions, but they like to think that they are more educated than what they really are, because they do have access to a lot of information, but it may not always be accurate.
Yeah.
So we want to educate, we want to let them know what the manufacturer actually covers on this vehicle and what they don't cover.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it enough.
That's true.
We need to let them know really what they are doing and be as transparent as possible. We don't have to give false hope. We don't have to lie about numbers. We don't have to overinflate things anymore. Parts and labor are insanely expensive. The value of a vehicle service contract, I mean, in my opinion, it has tripled in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Just because of the cost, parts and labor, and how much that your customer is going to benefit and have a better experience.
Exactly. And that's so important. And we've been focusing a lot on the customer experience, but let's talk about the internal and how dealerships run these. F&I is often measured heavily by numbers. Where do you see dealerships over-focusing on performance metrics at the expense of long-term development?
Yeah. So the focus on PVR, the dealers that are, putting mandates on you have to have a specific, you have to hit this number, otherwise you're out, like you don't have a seat here. It's not really developing people at that point. We need to focus on, in Ascent Dealer Services, one of our key training initiatives is going in, working with these managers. What is one thing today that can help you get better at your job? And let's focus on that one thing. So it's incremental. It does not happen overnight. Finance managers can't just go from being, because there's the confidence level that you need to be able to ask for everything every single time.
Yep.
In the back of your mind, most people make an assumption, this customer's not going to purchase this because of XYZ reason. The same as salespeople do.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy the car because of this, and they go tell their sales manager they're not going to buy it.
Thanks to Authenticom for supporting the I'm a Car Chick podcast. Authenticom. Control your data.
So if we can get that out of the back of our head and just stick to the process, ask for everything every single time, educate the customer, let them know how it's going to benefit them specifically, customized to that specific customer.
Yep.
That's really the biggest thing.
Yeah. You work closely with leaders on change management. What's the biggest mistake that the dealerships make when trying to roll out new processes or expectations?
Great question. Communication.
Yeah.
Communication.
It's funny. That was a really hot topic yesterday. Was things change and nobody's communicating it with the rest of the team and the people who need to know what's going on and all of that stuff. And it's as someone who's been at the bottom of the totem pole before, there's a whole sales event that could be happening and nobody's even told the BDC about it, and it's just one of those things that it has to go all the way down.
Yes.
And I couldn't agree with you more on
you got to
communication.
keep everybody involved. You got to keep everybody engaged. Everybody has a role for a reason.
Exactly.
And that's
you put somebody in that job for a reason, for sure.
And then repetition is a big thing too. You can't just say things one time. Like, you can't say it one time. As a leader, it's got to be repetition. You got to have structure. You got to have weekly meetings, and they need to be productive. It can't just be, hey, we're meeting because this is the time we have a meeting.
Yeah.
What does anybody want to talk about?
Exactly. What early warning signs tell you a leader or team is heading toward disengagement, even if results still look fine on paper?
Oh. I mean, again, like not being engaged, not wanting to participate in the team I mean, you're having a meeting, somebody who's just super disengaged. That's a good red flag. They're not mentally there. They're just physically there. And I think that happens a lot to dealership employees because we sacrifice a lot, Shasta.
Oh my God, so much.
So much. We sacrifice our time at home with our, families. We sacrifice long hours. We sacrifice sometimes getting bullied by customers. Sometimes really bad relationships within, employees. So,
and dealerships aren't well known for most dealerships aren't well known for maintaining the mental health of their team. It's not something that generally gets put first in automotive, and we have a really big opportunity there for sure.
Absolutely.
As a former F&I professional, what's one leadership behavior that consistently elevates performance and one that quietly kills it?
So elevate, I think, is personal and professional development, and having that be part of your daily routine. So Adam likes to call it like a daily boot camp, have your own daily boot camp.
Love
but
that.
Just something personal, like this is what I do every single morning. So like for me, one big thing is gratitude. Know what you're grateful for. Know what the alternative is. It is not everything is always bad, but if you focus on negative and you put out negative, you're going to receive a lot more negative, and you're going to notice a lot more negative.
Yeah.
So just staying grounded, and top performers sometimes get a really big head.
Yeah.
And that can lead to their demise by just feeling that they're not helping anybody else. They're the only rock star. I'm the only one that needs to be good. You got to bring up everybody else around you, because nobody does this by themselves.
Yeah.
It is a team. And when you're working on a team that's super cohesive, and I know that you felt this, everything's just like kind of magical. Everything just falls into place. It's super aligned. Everybody has their role. Everybody knows what they're there for.
Exactly.
So mindset is so huge and so important. And I think bad habits, you can fall into very quickly.
Yeah.
So
it's very easy, especially under high stress situations.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're technically out of time, but I definitely wanted to touch on at least one more piece. You yourself balance leadership, coaching, and motherhood. What lesson from real life has most shaped how you coach leaders today?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is just knowing I'm not the only one that's sacrificed a lot. There are so many people in this industry that have carried so much weight on their shoulders, and just letting people know they're not alone.
Yeah.
They're not alone. Not that I'm just like a perfect example of it, but hey, I get it. I truly understand, and give them some recognition. The ones who are really, being a leader in the dealership and taking ownership of their process, they deserve some recognition, and not just an attaboy, like great job, but to know like, hey, like you're holding up a lot, and it does not go unnoticed, and it's not just their paycheck, but it's a lot more than that.
Exactly. So. What's one thing you want to leave the audience with today? Either a snippet about Ascent or just leadership in general. Yeah,
I think my biggest message is just believe in the people that you do business with. Believe in the partnerships that you have. Believe in what you do. If you're sitting in a finance office, believe in the products you're selling. Know that there is support out there, and you may not be receiving it. I hear it way too often. People don't know who their rep is when the last time they seen them. I know I sat in a store for a decade and never had any type of training or coaching. So just know that it's out there, and professional development is amazing. And it starts with just one thing. If you can just start with that one thing and then keep adding to it, it's consistency.
And if someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do that?
Yep. So you can reach out, of course, on LinkedIn, Amy Hitch, and then amy.hitch at Ascent Dealer Services.
It was so great to talk to you today. I wish we had more time. There's so much more we could talk about, but you dropped plenty of good nuggets for everybody. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Shasta.
Absolutely. Guys, we will catch you next time, but be sure to check out Ascent Dealer Services. Obviously, follow Amy on LinkedIn and connect with her. She has so much to teach. And even just the short amount of time that I have known her, I've learned so much from her. So be sure to connect with her. And we will catch you next time on I'm a Car Chick podcast. That is now the third time I've done that today where I've fucked up the own name of my podcast.